What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is Michael Jonesy Jones here, and today I have another solo episode here for you of Respectful Wrestling Discourse. I would like to go out here and apologize for my recent string of absences here on the channel lately. I've just been very busy with things going on outside of the podcast here. So, yeah. So today, um, we're delving back into the past. This is sort of a recurring theme with me. I like to go back into the day and just sort of talk about the yesteryears of professional wrestling. So today, I feel like today's show is of timely fashion, and I will explain why. Today, obviously, is going to be the review of the 2008 Royal Rumble. And the reason why we're doing it today is because today is the 10-year anniversary of this Rumble. January 27th, 2008, this Rumble took place, and today is January 27th, 2018. So I figure that in timely fashion, this would be a fun Rumble to do. Also, I'd like to apologize if I cough or sneeze at all doing this. I'm fighting a little bit of a cold. It's nothing serious, but it's a little tiny thing just going around the air, the middle of January and all. Yes, so I approach this as like it's just another normal pay-per-view, but now it's a matter of, well, you got the Rumble match itself, so how you rate a Royal Rumble. It's longer, you got so many guys in here. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to try to follow this Rumble as best as possible and sort of give my critique on, like, every single little person, give my little notes on, the little things. So, yes. So, let's get started here. Let's just go right out of the gate with the opening match. Ric Flair versus MVP. This was this was a match. Right, so a little context. See, Ric Flair came back to WWE after a lengthy absence in late 2007. He came on the microphone and he said, "I will never retire." And it was a great segment because everybody thought he was going to retire, and it was just so well done. Out comes Vince McMahon, and he says, "If you get pinned in a one-on-one match," now I'm not sure if it's pin or submit, but if you lose another match in your career, you must retire. So then we get this string of career-threatening matches, and I like to refer to this point as the Ric Flair farewell tour. Second tries the charm, but anyways, so we get a lot of really interesting matches, like Ric Flair and Triple H in a Royal Rumble qualifying match on Raw. But we all know what it's building up to. It's all building up to Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 24, one of the all-time great matches. It's up there, and unless you throw the dispute of his matches with Ricky Steamboat, this is one of the best matches of his career, or the best match. But anyways, on with the match. So MVP is a young upstart, and he wants to end Ric Flair's career. Enough talking about context. Let's get into it. It was fine. I mean, I didn't really know what to expect. I know they had a previous match at Vengeance the year before for the United States title. This is not a U.S. title match, by the way. That makes sense because, well, you don't want to take the title off of MVP, but you also don't want to end Ric Flair's career before one of the best matches you've ever had. So, it's like Ric Flair and MVP, they try their best, but there's a couple of dodgy spots. There's some miscalculations. From some of the camera angles, it looked like some moves didn't hit. I mean, it wasn't a downright terrible match, but there was a tad bit left to be desired here, if that makes sense. So Ric Flair is doing all of his strutting, sorry. And MVP is playing the prototypical cocky young upstart heel. The dynamic works. The match itself is fine. Ric Flair wins, obviously. And yeah, so we're just going to go ahead and give this match 2 1/4 stars. I know I'm giving it an above average rating. That's something else I forgot to mention here. My apologies if any of these ratings seem too high or too low. These are just my opinions, and that's sort of the point of this channel. Is it's respectful wrestling discourse. So that's yeah. So second match of the night is JBL versus Chris Jericho. And the context here is Chris Jericho came back to WWE in late 2007 and challenged Randy Orton for the WWE title at Armageddon. But then he pushes JBL out of the way, who's been retired for about a year and a half now. And he comes back. He kicks Chris Jericho, causing a DQ. And they have this whole storyline where JBL just pummels Y2J. There's like one segment on Raw where he's like tying a cable cord around his neck and like trying to strangle him. You know, just one of those really effective feuds. I thought that was great, you know. So they have the match. It's a very cut and dry match. JBL hits a couple of clotheslines. Jericho's rocking the Save Us tights. Which, by the way, that's the best look he's ever had in his career, in my opinion. The short hair and the tights that he had from 2007 to 2008. The best sort of appearance of Chris Jericho, in my opinion. But anyways, so it's a fine match. Not a priority on this show, obviously. They keep going back and forth. And ultimately, the end of the match is Jericho grabs a steel chair and hits JBL right in the noggin. Oh, I should also mention, Jericho bleeds very profusely. He is cut open in this match. Yeah, he is very well cut open in this match. So, anyways, he takes the steel chair, whacks JBL on the head, gets a DQ, and then proceeds to. Now, what was it? They just JBL's cut open too, and they're just beating each other up. And I think this ultra violence really brings the storyline together. I think he also brings out a cable cord and starts strangling him, unless I'm mixing it up with the Raw before. But anyhow, they're just beating the utter crap out of each other. And I think it was the right call for a storyline. Some people call this a rather dull storyline, but like I feel like this was sort of the apex of it. They do meet each other in the Elimination Chamber match in No Way Out, but you know, I thought this was a good little road stop for their feud. The match itself, nothing wrong with it, no botching or anything. The rating is more or less maybe the aftermath of the match, but I'm gonna go ahead and give this one 2 3/4 stars. I feel like that's a good rating. Yes. So then the next match on this show is Edge defending the World Heavyweight Championship against Rey Mysterio, and you know, this is a match where storytelling really has a lot to do with it. So Edge is doing his whole La Familia thing. He's got the Edge heads, Hawkins and Ryder, and they're dressing up and impersonating Edge, and you know the whole thing with Vicky, and you know that's all well and good. And so they have this match. Rey tweaks his knee early on in the match, and Hawkins and Ryder try to attack Rey, but then the referee tosses them both out of the match. And then, you know, Rey and Edge go back and forth. It's a little bit of a distraction. It doesn't deter away from the match too much, but it's a little distraction that like Rey's hobbling around on his knee. If you take it in the context of the story, you know, oh, he's injured. He's supposed to be hobbling on his knee. That's all good and great, but then it's like, you know, it distracts a little bit away from it. But again, it's fine. It's fine. So the finish of this match really was what really sort of caught me. So Edge is set up for the 619, and you know, Rey and Vicky, they're friends and all. But then Rey's about to hit the 619, and he ends up hitting the 619 Because Vicky blocks Edge. Rey hits the 619 on Vicky Guerrero's neck. And that distracts him, like, oh my, she took the thing. And they had that whole neck brace storyline and everything. So then he goes ahead and goes for the West Coast pop. He goes for it, and Edge catches him in midair with a spear, which I thought was a great finish. Shades of WrestleMania 17. Not really, but but anyways. So Edge pins him and retains the World Heavyweight title. It's a good match. It's not necessarily a GOAT, a greatest of all time, but, they did a good job with this match. So I'm going to go ahead and give Edge and Rey Mysterio 3 stars. 3 stars. So up next is, in my opinion, a really underrated match. We're not going to get straight into it first, but we got some other stuff to go through. So we get this little filler segment between with Maria, and Maria comes out and she does the Royal Rumble kiss cam, and I'm just sitting here like, why is this happening on a pay-per-view? This has to lead to something. So Maria is doing the kiss cam, and everyone's all awkward and everything. Ashley comes out. Ashley Massaro comes out, and she says that she got a phone call from Hugh Hefner, and she asks Maria if she wants to be in the next issue of Playboy. Maria's about to give her answer, but then out comes her then boyfriend, Santino Marella. For anybody that doesn't know, Santino Marella is basically the equivalent of Elias in modern day context. That really good, charismatic mid-card act that's got these great promos, and you look forward to seeing him on TV. He doesn't necessarily have captivating matches or storylines, but he's got great promos and mic cutting skills. So ultimately, Santino comes out and he's like, no, Maria will not be in the new issue of Playboy. And Maria just says anyway, yeah, I'll be in Playboy. I'll do it. And Santino's like, darn, I can't do anything about this. And he's also got this hooded figure out here. So he's like, I've got a surprise for you, Ashley. And then the hooded figure unveils itself. It's the higher power. No, I'm kidding. It's Big Dick Johnson wearing a Tom Brady Atlanta Falcons jersey. And yeah, really, really great heat making moment, because this was going into the Super Bowl. Santino was making jokes about, the Giants are gonna choke and all. So Ashley beats up Big Dick Johnson, and he rolls out of the ring, and the segment just ends. It's just there to fill time. So next is honestly my favorite match of this show. Jeff Hardy versus Randy Orton for the WWE title. They made it's really inspirational. It's like, this kid's been working his whole life, and now he's going to try to be the WWE champion, and they got this whole video package and everything. And then there's Randy Orton, and he's the architectural heel, So Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton make their entrances. This is really, really a match that has, a big fight feel to it. And so the two start. There's a lot of back and forth action, a lot of really great spots. There's like one spot where Randy Orton's on the outside of the ring, and Jeff Hardy flies across the air and hits Randy with like a drop kick, and Randy takes a really nasty landing towards like his neck to the outside of the ring. I thought that was great. We're really building up Jeff Hardy like a threat. I mean, previously on Raw, he hit the Swanton bomb from like 15 feet in the air or something. He's a threat. And that's how these Royal Rumble World title matches go. You got your champion that you're building up so that they can probably lose at WrestleMania, but they're going to make a pit stop against a credible mid-carder, and they're going to tear the house down. And the reason why the title never changes is because everyone's focused on the Rumble. You got too much going on in one show, and the Royal Rumble is sort of like that point where you're big, story leading up to WrestleMania. It's sort of like beginning to elevate more and more. So yeah, you can't change the title, but you got to give them a good show, and that's really this is the epitome of that. So yeah, if you're all wondering what the best world title match at a Royal Rumble ever was, go check out Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit from the 2003 Royal Rumble. I might review that someday, but it's a really, really good match. Anyways, back to Jeff Hardy, Randy Orton. So Jeff Hardy really is taking it to Randy Orton. There's a lot of flippy stuff, um, going outside of the ring. Just a lot of drop kicks and hurricanranas everywhere. Um, Jeff hits Randy on the outside of the ring, and again, they're doing a good job of making him look like that credible threat to the WWE champion. Um, and then they hit the finish, and Randy Orton just nails Jeff Hardy with a really vicious RKO and pins him 1, 2, 3 and retains the WWE title. It was an amazing RKO. It really was. Jeff sold the RKO really, really well. But it's like, it's just sort of like the build up to it. You've got Jeff, and he's just pummeling Randy. He's got 90% of the offense in like the last 5 minutes of the match. And then all it takes is one RKO, and Randy Orton pins him to become WWE champion. I get it. Jeff is a proverbial mid-carder. He's the Intercontinental champion. He's not ready for that spot yet. But it's like, I would have rather seen, Jeff and Randy, go back and forth a little bit towards the end rather than just RKO pin. I would have seen them do like some back and forth stuff. Maybe Randy hits the RKO 1, 2, 3. Oh my god, he kicked out. Maybe have like he goes for the swanton and then Randy converts it into an RKO. I don't know, something like that. But anyways, so I looked up the rating for this match from the Wrestling Observer newsletter, and Dave Meltzer gave this match 3 stars. I'm thinking to myself, 3 stars? That's wow. All right. If you want my opinion on the star rating, and this might ruffle some feathers here, I'm thinking this match is going to be 3 3/4 stars. I was going to even go as far as to give it a 4-star rating, but it's just under the whole circumstance of bop 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 from Jeff Hardy, bop bop bop, and then just one RKO and Randy Orton retains. Just the context of that. It's like I wish they could have gone a little further with the match, So yeah, I'm gonna give this a 3 3/4 star rating. Amazing match. I would highly check it out. So then we got the Royal Rumble. Hey, it's the Royal Rumble. Yeah. So wow, we're not even 20 minutes in this episode. Holy moly. So we start off the Royal Rumble with the Undertaker and Shawn Michaels. Undertaker and HBK. They're going back at, and I absolutely love that because Undertaker and Shawn Michaels were the last 2 guys in the 2007 Royal Rumble. Undertaker tossed out HBK and won the Rumble, and they won the world title at WrestleMania 23. I absolutely love that they are the 2 starting off the Rumble. We're picking up right where we left off. So, yeah, these guys are going at it for like a little bit, not for too long. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We get number 3. It's Santino Marella. Santino Marella is in the Rumble, and it's like, you're in there with 2 of the best wrestlers ever. How are you going to compete? So Santino just stands there for a minute. I think he's like staring down the Undertaker. Shawn Michaels comes up and hits him with Sweet Chin Music, knocks out Santino, and then Undertaker just picks up the pieces and eliminates Santino out of the Royal Rumble. I thought that was really great. Santino really, really did a good job here as being that archetypical chicken shit heel. I can say words. So Undertaker and Shawn Michaels are continually going at it. Santino's an afterthought. Out comes number 4, the Great Khali. And it should be a big deal that it's coming out because it's the Great Khali. He's a big, massive guy. He beat The Undertaker at Judgment Day in 2006. We can't forget that. Undertaker and Great Khali go at it for a little bit, and then the Undertaker shortly eliminates Great Khali. I think, according to the wiki article, Great Khali only got, I'm looking it up right now, 1 minute 19. 1 minute 19. And it's like, because like, it's a cliche thing, the big guy, the big human being is going to be in that Rumble forever, and he's going to win it, It's so cliche that you got to toss him out after a short while. Like they did with Braun Strowman and The Big Show at last year's Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal at WrestleMania 33. So Undertaker, Shawn Michaels keep going at it, they keep going at it. The next 3 Rumble entrants come out. Hardcore Holly, John Morrison, and Tommy Dreamer. They're all here to help fill the Rumble, They're here to help fill the space of the Rumble, which is another thing I love about it. It helps give lower card wrestlers a pay-per-view spot and a pay-per-view payday that they wouldn't normally get at any other point in the year because they're so low on the card. But anyways, so out comes Batista. And, Batista's not, no, he's not a filler guy. He is an upper card guy. So Batista eliminates Tommy Dreamer. That's all said and good. And then out comes Hornswoggle. And, this is right in the middle of the whole Vince McMahon's son thing, that whole storyline that should have been so much bigger. We're not going to delve into that. That might be a future episode. But anyways, Hornswoggle hides under the ring because, well, he's strategizing. He's strategizing. Chuck Palumbo comes out next. Chuck Palumbo hasn't been in a pay-per-view since 2003. He came back to WWE, did this whole motorcycle gimmick thing, and he was like, I'm a badass. And, he's in there. He's beating up Undertaker, I think. And then out comes Jamie Noble. And, he's got taped up ribs and everything. Palumbo and Noble are in a feud because they're trying to win the affections of Michelle McCool because they had nothing else for them to do. So, Palumbo tosses out Jamie Noble with ease. Jamie Noble only gets 28 seconds in the Royal Rumble, which I'm just like, it's like, I get it, I get it, but still, it's like, I get it, though. And then CM Punk comes out in the Royal Rumble. He eliminates Chuck Palumbo, and that's all said and good. He's brawling with John Morrison because, they have that feud from ECW earlier in the year, and, they're going at it. We get a couple more entries into the Rumble. Cody Rhodes enters the Royal Rumble for Monday Night Raw. And then Umaga gets in there, and then Snitsky enters. And it's like Umaga and Snitsky are like big destructive powerhouses. They lost a little bit of momentum, but, they're still big, scary guys. So, naturally, they would create a threat in the Royal Rumble match itself as well. The Miz enters the Rumble. Shelton Benjamin enters the Rumble. And it's like, okay, so Shelton Benjamin gets into the Royal Rumble, and he hits some kind of like a crazy spot. I think it was on Punk, Morrison, and Miz. He hits some kind of like a giant super powerbomb plex thing. I don't even know. And he's all like, yeah. And then Shawn Michaels hits Sweet Chin Music on him and immediately tosses him out at 18 seconds. It's like, why Benjamin? Why would you do that to one of the best pure athletes here in the WWE? Why Benjamin? I was a little ticked at that. There are a couple other things that my hams are a little steamed at, if you know what I mean. So then the next 2 entries are Jimmy Superfly Snuka and Rowdy Roddy Piper. They're there because it's Madison Square Garden, and it's like, oh my god, it's blah blah blah, and that pop, that crowd reaction, which is like another reason that the Royal Rumble is just so great. Just legends coming back and everything. That's just awesome. And they're beating each other up. Kane comes out. and eliminates both Snuka and Roddy. And I know I'm not keeping track exactly of who's still in and who's not. I'm going to narrow it down to the final four eventually. So then the next couple of entries come in. So yeah, Carlito enters, Mick Foley enters, Mr. Kennedy is in there, Big Daddy V is in there. Okay, so like somewhere around this point, somewhere around here, around when Big Daddy V comes out. So Snitsky gets eliminated from the match by The Undertaker. And then Shawn Michaels turns around and tosses Undertaker out of the Royal Rumble, which is great because, Shawn is getting his momentum back for Undertaker tossing him out and winning the Royal Rumble in 2007. And then from behind, Mr. Kennedy tosses out Shawn Michaels because, they had that feud going on. They had the match at Armageddon. It was a fine storyline. Coffee is good. So then the Undertaker is just standing there, and he's like, "What just happened?" So then he takes Snitsky, and he just puts him on top of the announcer's table, and then gets up, and then leg drops him through the announcer's table, and then he just walks out. I find that funny. Snitsky is just sheer collateral in this match. I mean, everybody's collateral in this match, but like Snitsky just. I find that funny. That's funny. So, getting back to the Rumble match itself, Big Daddy V enters, Mark Henry enters, Chavo Guerrero enters, okay, I have a huge problem with Chavo Guerrero being in this Royal Rumble. So, the 3 world titles, the WWE title, the World Heavyweight title, and the ECW title. Last year, Undertaker won, and they had a segment on Monday Night Raw with the WWE champ John Cena, the World Heavyweight champ Batista, and the ECW champion Bobby Lashley. And, it's like, who's the Undertaker going to face at WrestleMania? Obviously, Batista. But it's like he could have faced any 3 of the world champions. Why would you then have Chavo Guerrero, the ECW champion, enter the Royal Rumble? It makes absolutely no sense. You have a world champion. Why would you not? Why would you then not have Edge and Randy Orton enter the Royal Rumble? Do you mean to tell me that the ECW title isn't worthy enough of being a world title? Because, well, let's be honest here. The ECW brand was kind of dead by this point. It was kind of more like the dumping ground for guys that they didn't know what to do with. And Chavo winning it, I mean, no disrespect to Chavo Guerrero, but it's just like, yeah. So Chavo Guerrero is in the Royal Rumble. I'm steaming. Hornswoggle enters and gets back in there, and he's about to do it up with the big guys, And then Finlay enters the Royal Rumble before he gets called out. He's number 27. Finlay enters in there, grabs Hornswoggle, and they both just get out of there. First off, Hornswoggle never went over the top rope, but he's just taken out of the match. Finlay just grabs him and they leave without Hornswoggle ever getting eliminated. So, by technicality, Hornswoggle is still in the 2008 Royal Rumble. Also, Finlay walks out of there, grabs Hornswoggle, and leaves. And then we get a report from Jim Ross. Like a minute later, Finlay has been disqualified from the Royal Rumble. A match that has no disqualifications to it. And you got let's take a trip back to 2001. Al Snow grabs all these weapons and stuff, and he's doing hardcore weapons, violence-based ECW stuff in the 2001 Rumble. He doesn't get DQ'd. Yet Hornswoggle getting carried out by Finlay. Finlay goes in before his entry, and he is the one that gets disqualified for the Royal Rumble. I don't get it. I don't get it because just I don't know. I do not know. It's these continuity issues that really get me about wrestling. But hey, I'm a spark. So, anyways, um, Elijah Burke, and then Triple H, and then Triple H immediately tosses out Elijah Burke after like what 2:11. Yep. Remember when I said Snitsky was collateral? John Cena comes out, and Cena, Triple H, and Batista are basically the three big players of this Rumble. So let's break it down. So, oh yeah, by the way, so the final four are Triple H, Triple H, John Cena, Batista, and Kane. Batista's eliminated Tommy Dreamer, Umaga, Mr. Kennedy. Triple H eliminated Cody Rhodes, Mick Foley, Big Daddy V, and Elijah Burke. And Cena has eliminated Mark Henry, Chavo Guerrero, and Carlito. It just goes to show you how so many wrestlers can become collateral for just a small handful of guys, you know? Really takes into effect. So yeah, in the finish, Triple H and Batista team up, and they both eliminate not Big Davey, Kane. They both take out Kane. So it's just down to Batista, Triple H, and Cena. So everyone's going at it. They're all beating each other up. Sorry. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention. Not to side note track or anything, but this is where the Jeff Harvey incident takes place. So I'm sorry for stumbling my words tonight. I'm a mess. But anyways, so Batista gets tossed out, and it's just down to Triple H and Cena, and they're trading finishers left and right and back and forth, and they're just like, is it going to be Triple H, or is it going to be John Cena? John Cena tosses out Triple H, wins the Royal Rumble, and he's going to WrestleMania. Some people are cheering because it's like, wow, we haven't seen Cena since late 2007, and he wasn't supposed to come back until after Mania. And then there's other people, they're like, well, it's the John Cena show again, because it's always been. So, naturally, Cena wins, and then he goes on to blow his world title shot at No Way Out, and he gets DQ. But that's okay, because he goes on to the world title match at WrestleMania anyway. So, yeah, I had a couple of marquee moments with this. Why was Chavo in the Rumble? And, you know, the whole nonsense with Finley. The Finley DQ nonsense. But anyways, it was still a great match. Oh yeah, that's one thing that I really liked about this Rumble. It didn't drag. I don't know if it was the intervals or what, but it didn't drag. So that's really nice. That's really, really nice. So this Royal Rumble match, I'm gonna give it a rating of 4 1/4 stars. So yeah, there's that. So I've tabulated the results. We're gonna go ahead and give the 2008 Royal Rumble a final rating of 3 stars. 3 stars. Yeah, I thought it was really, really good. I thought it was a really good Royal Rumble. This was a better pay-per-view than New Year's Revolution. Yeah. Ric Flair and MVP was an okay opening match. It was a little dodgy in some spots, but it was okay. JBL versus Chris Jericho was kind of in the same field, but you know the storyline had a little more depth, and you know there's blood and ultra violence. That's good. Edge and Rey Mysterio was a good match. A lot of hobbling on Rey's knee. Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton was really, really good. I feel like this is one of the more underrated matches. And the Royal Rumble is just it's just a great match. It's just a great Royal Rumble. So yeah, 3 stars. Yeah, that's about it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching this classic retro episode of Respectful Wrestling Discourse. My name is Michael Jones, and I will see you next time.